Network. This is Open Line.
Hello everyone, welcome to Open Line. A full house tonight. You can see up here, full house, and I'm excited because we have a great group of people. We're talking with people who really dedicate their lives to helping the homeless here in Nashville, and especially during this time of year when it's really cold outside. We're going to be talking about some of the things that are being done to help the homeless. Happy to have with us Rachel Hester, the Executive Director of Room in the Inn. Thank you for being here.
Exactly.
Judith Tackett, Metropolitan Homeless Commission. Thank you for being here. And Renee Pratt, Executive Director of Metro Social Services. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
So what we're talking about essentially is the cold weather community response plan. And let's just give the big overview. What is that? How did it come about and what is it? And who wants to take that?
I will take that.
Great.
So it really started in 2013 when the Homelessness Commission was approached to help community providers coordinate where people can go when it's extremely cold. We had some cold snaps in 2013, if anybody remembers. It was in January, about 5 days where it was brutally cold. And so we stepped in to start to coordinate. And we were reacting to the need rather than being proactive, because it just came about through that cold. And we then came together with the shelter providers, with all the partners, brought them around the table and said, okay, where are the resources? Who's doing what? Let's start coordinating. And every year we have come up with something extra. And out of that came a plan that is posted online. We created a website, a community website at coldweathernashville.com that people can go and read about it, what it is. Everything is posted and transparent so people can follow and where to go. And that's how it came about.
We were going to talk about this last week, but you all were actually implementing the plan. It was so brutally cold last week that you all were implementing the plan. And of course, I want to encourage people to call in. There's the number, 615-737-PLUS, 615-737-7587. We're also streaming this live on our Facebook page. So if you're watching on Facebook, you can put a comment down there in the comment section, and I will read some of those comments as we go along. But so last week is when this was last implemented, right? How do you know when you're going to put all of this into action?
It is really around that community plan where we have different levels. And I'm gonna, one of the things that we're doing is really coordinating around the communication and being in touch. Here is weather.com is predicting this foresight for this week. So we have to watch Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. And then we pick up the phone, have conference calls, get everybody together. It's really 20 partners across government and the private sector, nonprofits that are working together, shelter, canvassing, and making things happen. If you want to jump in.
Yeah, Room in the Inn is a big part of it, right?
So we've been doing Room in the Inn at congregations this is our 32nd year. We're built on collaboration. So, you know, I think everyone was working very hard, even in 2013, but we weren't all doing it together. And so how do we build on that? And we started right where we were. What temperature is everybody responding extra at? And so we created a level 1, which is a normal day of the year. And the Mission is our main shelter, and we're very grateful for them for what they have done for many years in our city. Level 2 is November 1st to March 31st. It's when we add extra beds through the Room in the Inn congregations, and that's 35,000 extra beds that are provided by volunteers. And they're also people who can have a face-to-face encounter with someone who's experiencing homelessness and understand what those struggles really are. And then level 3, we implemented at 25 degrees. And so we add at Room in the Inn, we turn our educational classrooms into 60 more beds now. And level 4 basically at this point is when all the congregations can't get to us and we need Metro to help us with extra capacity. We want to make sure everybody has an opportunity to come indoors. They have that right. So what we have decided to do this year, January 3rd until the March 31st, is a pilot program called a night center. And so Room in the Inn already is utilizing our building all day long as a day center, but at 8 o'clock at night we're opening a night center from 8 at night to 5 in the morning for people to come in and get something to eat, have a blanket sanitized by the hospital systems, It's not ideal. It's not beds, but it is couches and chairs. And hopefully it's hospitable, warm drinks. But it's just an entry point. And our job is to leave people better than we found them. And so can we do something more than shelter? And so every night we have a goal of however many people we can to say, what can we do for you tomorrow and the next day? And can we introduce you to the congregations? And can we get you into other shelter opportunities? So that's just the entry.
So when we start talking about the homeless, and I want to talk about even more about Room in the Inn, because so many people participate in that and want to know more about it. But when we start talking about the homeless in Nashville, where do we stand right now? How many are there? How quickly is this population growing? Give us an update on where we are with the homeless.
We actually have a point-in-time count tomorrow night where volunteers are going out all across Nashville and Davidson County to do an outdoor count, in addition to working with Room in the Inn and the Rescue Mission and other shelter providers to see who's sleeping indoors. So that is a census, a one-day census. It's not an annual number. It's just a snapshot that allows us actually for planning purposes to know what do we on a daily basis need to expect and plan for in terms of shelter and emergency planning. The last couple of years, that number has been around 2,300 people that were counted. The outdoor count is really where we are keeping an eye on. It's been around 650, more or less. It also depends how many people we find outdoors. When the temperatures are up, we see more people that are outdoors walking around. When it's cold, people tend to go in and seek shelter. So right now, that's an indication on where we are. The other actually best data source that we have right now is through the cold weather sheltering, where we find that we have this threshold of 1,200 beds in the city of emergency beds. We have not reached 100% of that at this point. We know there are still people that are outside, but it's a good indication of are we seeing big jumps or not.
Are we seeing it grow in the last year, 2 years? Is it growing, and by how much?
The outdoor count has grown.
Yes.
And I'm not sure if the outdoor count has grown or if we're doing a better job counting, because there's more outreach workers that are out there doing that hard work. But we know that people are moving to Nashville. Not everyone has a job. When it's city for all of us, right?
Right.
And so when you're attracting people to your city, and we're almost at full employment. And so my biggest concern that I have for our city, well, I have several, but one of our biggest concerns are when all the construction jobs go away. Are there going to be jobs for the entry-level jobs for the people that we're serving? Because many can get jobs and are working hard every single day. And there are people who are on that brink of the cliff that when they lose that construction job, they might just fall straight off. And that's what I'm worried about, is that tsunami that could hit us in a few years.
And what did you want to add to that?
Yeah, I wanted to add on, we're really working hard to build a coordinated entry system and improving how we collect data and get to annual data counts, and we're just not there yet. We have to own up to that. We're just not there. That I can tell you we have X amount throughout the year.
And so here we have, volunteer services. As far as Metro, the social services that are out there, the safety net, at what capacity are you? I mean, how much need do you see out there right now?
Excuse me, as Rachel stated, a lot of people come to Nashville because it is the it city. So we have several families that come in. We see a growth in families that are coming in, and men with children. It's very hard to find shelter for men with children and families. So we work hard every day, and we're on call and on the line with the coordinated entry system, with the shelters, to determine if we can find a place for them that particular evening and for the next few days until we can get them into shelter somewhere. Yes, it is growing. As of last year, our numbers weren't as high in the shelter as they are this year. We were open only 13 days last year. This year we've been open 33 days.
Wow.
So the demand is definitely there, and that number is definitely growing.
And with Room in the Inn, you were powered by churches, by volunteers.
By congregations,
By
both Jewish and Christian. Yeah. So Our founding director was Charles Strobel. He was a priest in East Nashville, and one night it got cold and he couldn't bear to have people sleeping in his church parking lot. He opened it up for the night. It was no big strategic plan, and he thought, if I do this tonight, I might do it for the rest of my life, and he has. And so we now have about 200 congregations. But the other thing that we really try to work hard on, there's 34 other cities that now have replicated that model, and some of those are surrounding counties. Bowling Green, for example, is and there's several cities on the other side of the Alabama state line. If we can help people stay in their communities where they already know people, where they already have some support system, may not be the best, but they have some level of that, then that keeps them from coming to the next big city and for us trying to have to start all over again.
Right. So there are 200 churches. Has that number up or down, or where has that number been the last few years?
We are up in congregations, but we always need more. You know, several years ago, many congregations scaled back. They all used to take 15 people. Now many of them take 12 because of some of the laws with the church bus laws. And so,
wow.
I mean, it's just little things that we have no control over. Again, we have more families than we've ever had. We have actually 2 single fathers at the moment, and so that is a big deal for us. We have a 5-month-old baby, a 5-week-old baby that is staying with us, and so we are a last resort for families. We have a wonderful, the Women's Mission and Safe Haven, but there's still not enough. And so we're hoping, as we continue to communicate, to identify gaps and try to think about who's the right who's the right agency position to kind of grow in that area.
Our church has traditionally done it on Friday nights. Do you have like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday?
We do it 150 nights straight, even the holidays.
Wow. And do some churches take the whole week, or do they do
well, there's only one congregation that does a blanket of a week at a time, but most do every Friday night or every Monday night or the first and third Friday night. And we really do, it's a scheduling kind of math that we do. We shelter almost 300 individuals a night, and then we have another 110 to 150 that stay on site with us that are in some stage of recovery for either alcohol and drug addiction or from coming out of the hospitals.
Well, here on Facebook, Vicki Eisenlohr says, God bless. And I know a lot of people feel that way. It's important work that all of you are doing, and we can delve more into it tonight. Let's go to the phones. Let's go to Renee. Hello, Renee.
Hello, how are you?
Great, great. Go ahead. What's on your mind?
I will try to get the question out. Excuse me being hoarse. Number one, what do you have available for those who are coming out of foster care systems from 18 to the age of 23? I found a group of them taking turns living in a car, and they do have jobs at Walmart, but they can't find housing. And then the other question is Room in the Inns a suitable environment for me to bring a group of teens to volunteer? And
sorry.
Sorry. Okay, so Renee, I can start if that would be helpful.
Yeah.
We actually, as a city, started a few years ago focusing on 18 to 24-year-olds. We believe that if we can reach people early on into becoming homeless, that we can move them where this isn't who they are, it's just a circumstance that they've dealt with in a very short time. And so tonight, actually I have 25 18 to 24-year-olds staying with us. It is a different kind of entry point for that population, and the other 6 nights are covered by Oasis Center and Launchpad, and we partner together. But again, you brought together 30 plus partners, I guess, including the foster care system, to talk about how can we work hard at making sure that this is a short stay and that they don't become chronically homeless.
And can you add something with Metro Social Services on that?
Yes, we are focusing and hope to focus more of our attention on the youth. There's a demand for youth when they come in as well. And we try to unite families. We look at diversion issues or possibilities for them as well. But accommodating them is quite hard, and looking for housing for them is quite hard. Even though they're employed, again, is it affordable? That's the question. So again, we work very closely with the shelters and determine what's the best route we should take for them as individuals.
So tomorrow night at the Boys and Girls Club, there is something called Youth Count. This population, the 18 to 24-year-olds, can blend in because they have a backpack and they look like every other 18 to 24-year-old anywhere on Belmont Boulevard or West End. And so we really need to know what those real numbers are. we need to identify them and identify their needs so that we know how to serve them. So tomorrow night they have a live DJ. They're having a party at the Boys and Girls Club that's put on by Oasis, and I'm not even sure who else is putting it on, but it sounded like a lot of fun.
Yes. One of the things I want to jump in, so we're talking a lot about sheltering today.
Right.
But people experiencing homelessness, homelessness is it doesn't describe a person, it describes a condition that a person finds himself in. And one of the really important aspects to understand is the solution to homelessness is housing. It sounds very simple, but we all work towards and coordinate around sheltering, around youth, and around the different populations' needs to really see how can we move youth in this example as quickly as possible from a foster care situation and make sure they have the information they need and the education they need and the support they need to do well in a group setting. With youth, one of the things we sometimes, when I was 24, I had a roommate. So there are roommate situations, what can we help to set up? Because sometimes people don't have that same support system that I had to find a roommate. And just looking at how can we then still be around and have some support to get people to the next level and be successful.
Here on Facebook, Denise Dawn, I'm totally going to mess up your name, Denise. Denise is saying there is not enough affordable housing. And that is, I think Renee was also echoing that. We have to take a break. Reverend Fuzz, I know you're on the line. Hold on. We'll get to your call. If you want to call in, there's the number 615-737-7587. We're also taking your comments on Facebook. Take a break. Be back right after this.